Tell me a ghost story that sounds completely unbelievable but is entirely true.
Okay, this is the third time I'm trying to record this because the other times that I tried to stitch it with Audacity, her first 4 seconds of her clip about the ghost story thing, it just wouldn't pick up the audio. I don't know. It's weird. Other creators said that their phones were glitching in and out. It's really freaking strange. But anyways, I have 3 stories I want to tell. My first one is when I was a senior in high school. I moved in with my uncle and his then wife at the time, Rachel. And their oldest she was probably like 9. So it's just giving you the dynamics in the house. They had a few kids, but the oldest kid was like 9. So I was like the teenager in the house. And in high school, my best friend at the time, and one of my very best friends still to this day, Holly, she's in this. I had just gotten done talking with her for that night on the phone, right? Went to bed. In the middle of the night, I wake up because Holly is nudging me and asking me to scoot over on my bed so that her and Rachel can lay down in the bed with me. And I remember just looking at her, I'm like, Holly, what are you doing here? And then thinking like, why does Rachel need to lay in the bed? She has a bed down the hall. So I get up because I can just see silhouettes because there was a light on in the hall that was coming into my room, but the light was off in my room. So I just see silhouettes of Holly and Rachel. So I get up, turn on the light, turn around, and they're not there. I was so fucking scared. I left the light on, and it took me quite a while to fall back to sleep. The other one I want to talk about is another situation in the bed. When I was about 20, I was 25. I had just split up with my husband at the time. And I moved in with my cousin Dee Dee. Her house, definitely haunted. There were so many things that happened in this house, but I just want to talk about this one particular story. I had a room in the basement, and so did her gay brother, Louis. He was living in the house with us, and he had a room in the basement too. And there was like this period of time when I first moved in with them, I just could not sleep alone. I was getting bugged a lot, and I was scared. I'm still to this day scared of the dark. I can't sleep alone in the dark. I have to have like a nightlight on or something. But anyways, for a little while, I would sleep in Lou's bed with him. And one night, he's on the right side of the bed. I'm on the left. We go to bed, right? We knock out. I think we fell asleep watching Golden Girls or something. But I'm laying on my left shoulder. I remember waking up in the middle of the night. And I look, and there was a light, one of the lamps in the room was on, so there was enough light to see this. Lou is standing next to me on my side of the bed, looking down at me. And his eyes are like a reddish, pinkish, almost like somebody whose eyes are like bloodshot. And he's just staring at me. And I'm like, Lou? And then I hear, what? And like feel the bed move, and I look over, and Lou is laying in the bed next to me. And then I look back over, and the one standing next to me is gone. I was so fucking scared. Like, that made it worse. I didn't even want to sleep in his room anymore. Oh, man. But the third story I want to talk about is the very last thing that I've had happen to me, the most recent, which was January of 2023, I do believe. I was about to fly back home from deployment, and I was in Singapore, and they put us up in this hotel in Singapore, Navy Gateway Inn and Suites, and I was sharing it with my friend Alexis, and we each had our own room. And that day when we were showing up and getting our bags off the van and everything and checking into our hotel, there was like this pack of monkeys that we saw outside of the hotel, and we were just, observing them, taking pictures and videos and stuff. Well, so that night we go into our hotel, and the hotel is huge. It's like 13 square feet. There's a few bedrooms in it, big ass living room, kitchen, all this stuff. And there's 2 doors. We made sure both the doors were locked before we went to bed. I woke up around 4 o'clock in the morning because I heard a whistle. It was like, and Alexis likes to whistle a lot. So I remember it felt like it was right in my ear, and I was like, opened up my eyes, and I'm like, and then it just like sunk in. I was like, oh no, like you literally just woke up because somebody whistled in your ear. So I grabbed my phone. It's like 4 o'clock in the morning, and there's like, I look over at my door, and there's a little bit of light coming in from the hallway, and I can see a shadow walking back and forth in front of my door, and then it will randomly stop right in the middle of the door and just stand there for a few seconds and then continue to go back and forth. But I cannot hear any footsteps, no pitter patters, nothing, because a part of me at first was wondering if monkeys had maybe climbed in through a window. But I was like frozen, and it went on for a good like 5 minutes, and then it disappeared. It just stopped. And then I laid there for like a good another like 10 to 15-ish minutes, because I was frozen and scared out of my damn mind. And then I finally got the balls enough to get up and turn on the light, and then I slowly opened my door, and I tell you, I went out there and I turned on every damn light in that space and checked every nook and cranny, and I made sure none of the windows had accidentally been opened, because maybe it was a monkey. No windows were open. Both the doors were locked. And yeah, it was so flippin' scary. And then we came back home for a few months and went back out on deployment again. Well, now I'm on the ship and I'm talking to my buddy, Salazar, and he's like, hey, I had this weird thing happen in Navy Gateway Inn and Suites when we just stayed there last. I'm like, really? What happened? Tells his story. I'm not going to tell his story because I don't want to make this video too long. But anyways, I'm like, dude, I had something fucking crazy happen too. And then he said he had made friends with a local guy that was born and raised in Singapore. And the guy said that the Navy Gateway Hotel, they actually built it out there in Singapore on top of some burial grounds. So, yeah, that's my story.
Okay, and I'll go second. So growing up throughout high school, I lived in a family home with my mom that used to be my great-grandparents' house. So my mom's grandparents' house. I feel like I've always had this strong ability to sense things around me. I also don't want to sound like super duper like hippy dippy right now, but it's true. And throughout the time that I lived in this house, I always felt something. Always. And there was one event that changed everything, and really confirmed to me that what I was feeling was true and that the paranormal is real. So going into that story, whenever you enter the house, so it's like the front door, and then you were greeted with a staircase. It was like a little bit to the left when you walked in, but it was basically right when you opened the door. Up those stairs, to the right was my bedroom, to the left was another bedroom that was more of an office for us, and then straight from the stairs, like going up straight ahead, was a smaller room that we turned into like a walk-in closet kind of deal. And there wasn't any bathroom upstairs, so the only bathroom in the house was downstairs. So if I had to wake up in the middle of the night to go to the bathroom, I had to wake up, go down the stairs, go to the bathroom, go back up the stairs, go back to bed. There was one night where I had to pee so bad, so bad. And usually I would just hold it and I probably had UTIs for that reason, but I would hold it because I didn't want to go downstairs because I was scared to death. I could just feel everything. And so one night I woke up, opened up my bedroom door, went to turn to go down the steps. I'm getting chills just thinking about it. Went to turn to go down the steps, and at the end of the steps, there was a woman standing there. She had her arms crossed like this. She had super long black hair. She was wearing like a drapery kind of frumpy outfit. And as soon as I turned the corner to go down, she turned her head like this. Her arms were still crossed. She turned her head, looked up at me, gave me like a smirk, and then turned back around to look out the window of the front door. I was frozen. I could cry thinking about it right now. I was frozen. Frozen in fear to where I felt like I couldn't scream, but also frozen in a sense of like my fight or flight kind of kicked in. So slammed my door, ran back into the bed under the covers, sobbing, calling my mom. I was telling her, there's somebody in this house. Somebody has broken in. You need to call the police. Call 911. There's somebody in this house. I could hear her getting up, turning on all the lights, saying, hello, hello, is anybody here? She comes upstairs. She's like, there's nobody here. Like, I don't know what you're talking about. And from that day on, I slept in bed with my mom throughout high school because I was deathly afraid. Not that this being was scary looking, but the fact that, like, I saw her was insane. There was a ton of other stuff that happened in this house that just made me feel uncomfortable. There was stuff that my mom came out and told me, but not until after I moved out of the house, because why would she want to scare me even more? There was just so much. I have so many other stories, but that is my main one that really just like sealed the deal for me. It was crazy. But yeah, that's my story.
Okay, this story is based in Alabama. I am from South Florida, and so I grew up knowing about slavery, obviously, but I never grew up seeing these historical sites from this time period. I didn't see the graves of lost slaves. I never saw old plantation homes. Like, I never saw any of that. And there's no really, like, deep history of slavery in my area, and so, like, now that I'm here, I can tell you, Alabama has such deep, deep history when it comes to slavery. It's unbelievable. In every single city, there is some story to tell. And so I was in Huntsville, and that's North Alabama, about 20 minutes south of the Tennessee line. And I was at my boyfriend's grandparents' house for Christmas dinner. And we're both Catholic, so we ended up just getting into the conversation of ghosts because, like, we both believe in that. And she was like, actually, I have a ghost story. And I was all ears. I was full ready, waiting for her to tell me the story. And so she said that she lives in, like, a cute little single family home, small little living room, small little kitchen, 2 bedrooms and a bathroom. And so she said a couple years ago, she added in a second bathroom to be attached to the master bedroom. And before she had this bathroom, there was a very large oak tree next to her house. And when she renovated the house and added in the bathroom, they took out the oak tree, and that's where the bathroom now is. And she said every single day for months, she saw a man, every single time she got out of the shower, when, like, the mirror is all misty and foggy, she would see a man staring at her. And she never, like, felt scared or, like, felt like he was, like, a bad energy. She just acknowledged his existence and then just went about her day. But she would see him every single day. And so she's been telling people this story. Nobody's believing her. And so she's like, I'm just going to take a picture. I'm going to see if I can take a picture. She actually takes a picture. And I have this picture to show you guys. And when I say she showed me this photo for the first time, and my stomach dropped to my toes, I could not believe what I was seeing. It was so crystal clear. It's just, there are no words. And so I'm going to go ahead and show you this photo. So this is a photo of her holding her phone and me taking a photo of it. So I'm going to show you a picture of it zoomed in. So you can see his full outline up until, like, right below his collarbone. You can see that his hair has hair texture, almost like coily hair. You can see his ears, you can see his neck, you can see his collarbone. But if you really look, there's something around his neck. And there's something that's hanging down from the mirror. Tell me that's not a rope around his neck. There is a rope tied around his neck multiple times. And I'm going to show you a timestamp. So this is a timestamp of Huntsville, December 24th, 2022, 7:58 p.m. Turns out this oak tree that is next to her house, that was there before the bathroom, turns out this was used as a hanging tree during slavery in the 1800s. And I believe this man that she saw every single day in her bathroom was a man that was hung from this oak tree, and he was an African-American slave. And ever since she took this photo, she has never seen him again. Never. And I hope one day he's able to cross over and go to heaven, but he was stuck in this bathroom for a very long time, and he's been there for 200 plus years. So that's my ghost story. I fully believe it is okay if you don't, but I wanted to show this.